What's up, guys? This is QREM from the Trinity of Lift, and today I'm gonna be just in the camera in front of all of you guys today simply because there was an emergency ban list that dropped yesterday, and that's pretty darn scary. Like, if you guys were living under a rock for the past, like, I want to say about 17 hours by now, maybe 24 hours, I don't know, like maybe it's been an entire day, but whatever. Like, if you guys haven't known already, there was an emergency ban list that did get dropped, and quite a few things specifically from the Performages and Pals deck did get hit, and it seriously, I'm not gonna go into like everything that got hit. Like, you guys probably know this by now, like what happened, like with all the Performages getting wrecked, and like the Perform Pals also mildly getting wrecked, plus Luster Pendulum going to 1. So yeah, I mean, as for me, honestly, I don't have my performer deck anymore. Like, if you guys remember and if you guys recall that I did profile a Performage Pendulum Magician deck about a month ago, I did indeed sell that deck literally probably just a week after I did that profile, because I really didn't want to update the deck post Breakers of Shadow, because I honestly did not have the monetary compensation to do it. So I immediately sold the deck, and now in retrospect I'm actually extremely happy that I did, because I mean, like, Performages and Pals, they only had roughly about 3 or 4 weeks to do extremely well. Like, they have been doing extremely well at regional events, and now the deck is not as strong as it is. Like, it very much is a lot weaker than even what the OCG has right now. Because if you guys keep up with the OCG meta at all, you guys will probably know that Performer Pal Draco Slayers is one of the stronger decks over there. Just because, again, they still have the entire Draco Slayer engine, plus they have the entire engine of the Perform Pals as well. And that deck is still doing very good in the OCG, but now compared to like what the deck got hit with in the TCG, we actually have a very weak version, or well, maybe not a very weak, but a weaker, like a noticeably weaker version of the deck here in the TCG, just with the new list changes. As again, Luster Pendulum going to 1 is gonna severely hurt the deck just because they won't have as easy access to Ignister, as well as just along with the OCG hits that the deck did receive in the OCG, we also got even more hits for some reason, like. Yeah, like the OCG doesn't even have some of the changes that we just got yesterday, and I think that's pretty darn crazy, especially since they did decide to just drop this format on a dime, and it's gonna come into effect next Monday, which in my opinion it's pretty darn jarring. Like, if I was personally playing Performages and Pals, I would be pretty darn annoyed right now, just because again Konami basically said, yeah, your deck, if you want to play it in any sort of competitive scene, yeah, by next Monday you better darn well adjust it, and it's like like, even like when I first saw the list, I was also at a loss for words, even for a non-Performages and Pals player. Like, I was just thinking that that was a pretty darn ballsy move that Konami did, and yeah, it's just so crazy. Like, even now I'm like having a hard time explaining like how I felt, just because it was just like, what? Like, even Loki and I, like we immediately jumped into a Skype call to discuss what we felt about it, and I felt extremely bad because again, like I said, I sold my Performages and Pals deck, and ironically I sold it to Loki. So yeah, he was pretty damn pissed off about the list changes. But again, I definitely don't think that the deck is going to be dead. It might not necessarily be called Performages and Pals anymore, because the Performage engine is going to be pretty bad now, just because again, no Damage Juggler and Plush Fire makes the entire engine pretty darn obscure in Pendulum decks. But I definitely will see Pendulum Magicians probably making a rise up again, because again, they are probably the best Pendulum deck right now. I'll just go and make that bold statement right now. I do probably feel that they are the best Pendulum deck around that can compete, even though they did lose 2 copies of Performer Pal Pendulum, or Performer Pal Joker, Skullcrobat Joker, excuse me. Even if they lost 2 copies of that, it won't be too bad, because they do have other deck thinning options. Like, I believe some people that I know have already been telling me that they're intending to substitute the 2 Jokers that they lost with 2 copies of Summoner's Art to act as multiple copies of Dragon Pit Magician. So again, we definitely have to see how that deck shapes up in the coming weeks. But in general, I'm still I can probably say that I'm dissatisfied with this list and what it did, just because, first of all, like, again, I feel bad for all those Performage and Pal players. Like, I really feel that this ban list really did screw you guys over, and again, my heart goes out to you guys. But also, like, for my own personal bias, again, like, you guys probably know, I love Brilliant Madoltri. Like, that is my go-to deck right now, alongside the new Monarch deck. And with this card getting banned, I can't play this card in any of my rank 4 decks. Like, I'm never gonna make Dino Mist, and I don't want to make Cyber Dragons. And because of that, I don't see myself ever summoning Infinity again. And it just really bums me out because of the simple fact that, like, I want to say, I think I went to only about 2 locals in the past month. And between those 2 locals, one of them I did play a really ghetto version of Postbreakers or Shadow Performages and Pals, because quite literally it was my old list before I sold it, plus 3 Monkey Board and a Turtle. So I mean, yeah, it was pretty darn ghetto. But I did have these guys in that deck too, so I did summon Infinity about twice in that locals that I took that deck to. And the second locals that I went to, I took Monarch, so again I didn't have an extra deck. So it kind of bums me out because in real life I maybe summoned this card, like, again, physically summoned this in real life about twice. I mean, I did get this for roughly $55 of value, in terms of trades anyway, and it's pretty much down the toilet now because I didn't even get to get my value back out of it because I didn't really get to play the card at all. So yeah, it kind of sucks. Like, also Damage Juggler getting banned too. Like, what am I ever gonna throw into Brilliant Madoshis anymore for that Light Buster for Seraph Knight now? I have no idea. I have some ideas anyway, but like, we'll have to see how those pan out in the coming weeks. So yeah, like, this emergency ban list, pretty darn jarring. Like, it's pretty crazy. Like, again, I feel bad for all of you Performage and Powers players. Like, if I didn't say it enough, I really think that this emergency list was pretty darn crazy, and we'll just have to see how this meta does shape up in the coming weeks. I also know that YCS Atlanta is going to be now an irrelevant event, because I was excited actually for that event, simply because, again, we're going to be able to see Monarchs at full power go against the meta and see how they do in the top 32, as well as we, again, get to just see a really definite meta and how the meta is going to do. But again, now with Performages and Pals going to be completely irrelevant, in terms of how powerful they are currently at this day that I'm uploading this, compared to what they're going to be next Monday. The basically YCS Atlantis or YCS whatever is not going to be, like, relevant at all, because again, it's not going to be able to indicate what our meta is going to be moving forward. So again, that is going to be all my thoughts on the emergency ban list for now. And again, I hope you all very much did enjoy this video, and make sure to, again, also leave your thoughts on the list down in the comment section below, as again, as you guys probably all know by now, I do very much check the comment section quite often, and I do try and take my time to respond to at least each and every one of you as much as I can. So again, hope you all very much did enjoy the video, and as always, this is QREM from the Trinity of Lift, and I'll see all of you guys later. Peace out.